of this stuff seems sort of self-explanatory, but when you're like really busy or you've just never done self-care before, all these little things are just stuff that you would never even think to do, and they're like such small things that make such a huge difference to your day. If you've never done self-care before or anything like that, this is the video for you. And I'm just going to break this video down into night routine and morning routine, and just sort of simple tasks you can do throughout the day just to start some form of self-care and investing in yourself. Things you can start doing during your night or evening are reduce your phone usage because of the short form content. You're exposed to so much new information in like such a small period of time, and it's just so overwhelming. I did a social media cleanse like a week ago, and I would just start going to sleep earlier because there was nothing else to do and there was nothing else keeping me awake. I wasn't constantly scrolling and just ignoring like the natural cues to go to sleep. You're probably going to feel more in tune with your body. Another thing you can do is straight away when you get back from work, school, whatever, when you come back home, change into comfortable clothes. It kind of sets the tone for where you are as well. Like you're not working anymore, you're just relaxing and you're at home. Washing your face with an actual exfoliator or makeup remover instead of just washing your face with water and then like calling it a night, which is what I used to do, but it's like so bad for your pores and your skin. So don't skip that. Start taking care of your skin, start putting in the effort to take off all the eyeliner and the makeup, and then go to sleep. Brush your hair and plait it at night, so then when you wake up it's not going to be full of knots. And like as I'm saying this, I know a lot of this stuff seems sort of self-explanatory, but when you're like really busy or you've just never done self-care before, all these little things make such a huge difference to your day, you know, because you start your morning without having to brush out a bunch of knots from the night before. Prioritize your sleep schedule. If you don't take anything away from this video, take away the fact that your sleep schedule really matters. Your sleep quality, sleep duration, all of that stuff has such a huge impact on your mood, on your personality. And you know, there's like that quote, like if you can't solve it today or something, take a good night's rest or something like that. I don't know. So sleep just really helps is the point. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Other stuff you can do at night also includes just anything that you know you'll have to do in the morning. You set yourself up for that. You could be planning out your outfits the night before or planning out your lunch. Anything that will help your future self, do it. Things that you can do in the morning include waking up before sunrise. It sounds so cliche because you see it in like all those like personal improvement sort of videos, but now I finally get it. When I wake up before the sun rises, I feel just like so much better about myself, like I've already accomplished something. Whereas if I wake up at around 10 a.m, I just feel like I've already wasted the day, and like if it's already started off unproductive, I've already started on a bad foot, then I'm less likely to want to do anything productive for the rest of the day or like anything really. And I end up just wasting it even more. Getting up and making use of the daylight that you have, you free up time that you can use for whatever you want. This is time to invest in yourself. Maybe it's learning a new skill, practicing a skill that you're currently learning. It's just doing whatever you want. And also, if you wake up before you have to, then you won't have to go on your phone immediately. You can start your morning the way that you want. If I start my day on my phone, even if it's to do something like reply to a school email, I always feel jittery and bad throughout the rest of the day because my morning started off with me looking at a screen and being bombarded with all sorts of stuff. Next, I would recommend going on a walk and exercising, of course. I've been slacking off on like going to the gym or like doing any sort of exercise. So the least that I make myself do in a week is go on a walk somewhere, get yourself outside, get some sunlight, go out and see people and talk to people. We're social animals at the end of the day. Like we can pretend that we aren't and we don't need people, but we really do. Incorporate fruits and vegetables into your diet. I am the type of person to sort of be like, fruits and vegetables optional, you know, but you shouldn't be doing that because it's really bad for you. So try and start like finding new meals that you can cook with vegetables and fruits, or just, you know, cutting up a fruit in your morning, like adding it to your routine, or building a routine if you don't have one. And building a routine is so beneficial just for so many reasons. Like you can cue yourself to be more productive than you would if you didn't have a routine, because you have like an allotted time to go and do this study session or learn this new skill. So I would recommend like researching habit, you know, maybe reading Atomic Habits and researching how to build habits. And don't feel bad if you're watching YouTube and then you see some other YouTuber with this really productive morning routine and day routine and night routine and everything. It's just like really, really productive. Like, don't compare yourself especially when you're someone who doesn't even have a routine yet. Like, it's different for everyone. Like, we learn differently and whatever, blah, blah, blah. So go and find out what works best for you and then build your routine off that. Okay, other random things that have absolutely no place in the middle of the video, I'm just gonna throw in now. If you're struggling with something, like, make the effort to communicate and to talk to trusted people around you. Maybe you struggle with people pleasing as well, and you never really take care of yourself, but you take care of everyone else. You especially need to go and find someone, and obviously if they're at the mental capacity to hear with whatever you're dealing with, then that will be good because they can help you more. And I would especially recommend that tip for desi people because I feel like it can be kind of like a cultural norm to think that talking to someone else or like asking for help or whatever in a mental health sort of way is a bit, you know, it's seen as weak, or people think you only talk about mental struggles if you're crazy. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but like I feel like that's the sort of vibe, and it's kind of like stigmatized, like mental health still a bit. So especially for desi people, you need to know that like asking for help for something or going and talking to someone about whatever you're struggling with, it's not a weak thing, and you don't need to feel bad about it. Like, just go and find, like, if you can't talk to someone in your family maybe because of whatever of that, then go and find a trusted person, or maybe even a medical professional. It takes courage to, you know, admit and speak up if you're struggling with something. So don't go through that alone and think that you're some warrior. You don't need to do all that. Another thing I would say, just adding onto that people pleasing point, is go and learn about how to set boundaries. If you're someone who is constantly doing everything for your friends or people around you, your family, just being kind of a pushover to their wants and not really caring about yourself, not only will people lose respect for you, you lose respect for yourself. Ultimately, everything's going to backfire, even if you've been trying to be a kind person and trying to help people. If you feel uncomfortable with just the word boundaries, like I used to feel uncomfortable about that, it's probably because you've never set one, or you think it's like building some huge wall around you, creating a huge drama around your group of friends, and sort of being high maintenance. But it's really not. It can be like the smallest thing that you set a boundary about. Maybe you don't like when your friends talk to you during a lecture or something, and then you say, can you stop talking to me during the lecture? And then if they're a good friend, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't know it bothered you, and then they'll stop. So, you know, you don't need to think of it as some huge, you know, attention-seeking sort of thing. It's just literally making yourself more comfortable, and then people around you, good people at least, will respect that. And then maybe they'll tell you about your boundaries, their boundaries for whatever, and then they'll respect, and then you just have a good relationship. And also, when you're setting boundaries, you better commit. Don't do what I did, where you like try to set a boundary and then you undermine it yourself, because it just doesn't work. But you'll learn as you go along, and you really need to just take baby steps with it. If we do the lecture example again, if you say that to your friend and your friend accepts it, and suddenly you think of something funny and then you share it and talk to them during the lecture, you've undermined your boundary. Okay, so don't do that. I feel like it seems like you risk your friend judging you or your friend leaving you, but if any of those things did happen, then you're not losing a good friend. You just need to be open and clear, but it will take a long time. You know, I understand, and it takes getting used to, especially if you're like a people pleaser. But try not to make it into this huge, impossible thing, because it's not. Lastly, you can do this morning or night or whenever you want. Invest in yourself. You might hear that term, invest in yourself, a lot, and that also seems like a huge big thing, but you can break it down. If your hobby is crocheting, for example, and you are starting to get more regular with it and getting better at it as well, like you're making cooler things, then the way you could invest in yourself is to get more material, and then maybe you could even, you know, look into selling some of your stuff. It's just sort of advancing your skills, like leveling up. So at least that's my definition. Take care of like your teeth and your gums. Just get that sorted. Caring for yourself also means paying attention to your health. Okay, my phone died, so as I was saying, look after your health. So self-care is taking care of your health as well, and that means preventing health issues from arising. So look after your teeth. And another thing that I would also add is don't keep your phone near you when you're working. Like if you're someone who just sort of drops everything to go and answer like friends' messages or maybe like a work email when you're doing something else, you need to keep your phone in another room if you're able to, and fully focus in whatever you are studying or doing. I think I'm going to wrap up the video now. I think I've covered most of what I wanted to talk about. But if you're finding all of this a bit weird, like I used to find all of this stuff weird too because I never did any. But something that helped me was think of yourself as a child. Like you wouldn't want a child not going to sleep at the right time, you know, dealing with something by themselves, not eating well. So think of yourself as a child to take care of. And yes, hopefully that helps. And even though this is very cliche, just know that the fact that you're like watching these sorts of videos and truly committing to learning how to self-care, it's already a step in the right direction. So good for you, and I'm excited to see where you guys will go. And leave a comment if you want, telling everyone else how you went, or maybe you can promise something like a goal that you want to achieve. Like I will start meditating every 10 minutes. I don't know. Anyway, I hope this was helpful.